I'll never forget the night 9 black SUVs pulled into my driveway. My family froze. My mother's face drained of color. My father stumbled back in fear. And a frail old woman they mocked as street trash stood taller than any of us, her voice dripping with power. But let me take you back to how it all began. I grew up in a family that worshipped wealth and appearances. My mother believed status was everything, and she made sure her children mirrored her obsession. My father was quieter, but no different, measuring worth by bank accounts and clothing labels. The truth? We weren't rich. Not really. We just lived like desperate actors trying to convince the world we belonged in high society. And me? I was the odd one out. My heart bent toward kindness, not calculation. Where my siblings saw weakness, I saw humanity. Where my mother saw waste, I saw worth. That made me an outcast in my own home. They mocked me for helping stray animals. They ridiculed me when I spoke to the homeless man near the market. They rolled their eyes when I donated my allowance to orphans. That evening was no different, at least not at first. I had just returned from the corner store when I noticed her, an old woman, hunched and trembling at the side of the road. Her gray hair was wild, her dress torn and dirty. People passed her by like she was invisible. Some sneered. Others crossed the street. But my heart clenched. She looked fragile, lost, like the world had spat her out and left her to crumble. Without hesitation, I rushed over. "Are you all right, ma'am?" I asked softly. Her eyes lifted to mine. For a brief second, I saw something sharp, something hidden, but it vanished beneath a mask of frailty. I can't find my way home," she whispered. So I offered her my arm. "Come with me. I'll help you." When I led her into our gate, the storm began. My mother stood in the doorway, her silk blouse glowing in the fading sun. Her voice cut like a blade. "What is this?" she demanded. "She's lost," I said quickly. I couldn't just leave her. Why waste time on street trash? My mother spat before I could finish. My brothers laughed. "Always bringing strays," one muttered. Even my father sighed, his disappointment heavy. "You embarrass this family." Always clinging to society's dirt. The old woman lowered her gaze, lips trembling. Shame burned my face. But I didn't let go of her hand. Instead, I led her inside, prepared tea, and ignored their jeers. She smiled faintly, whispered, "You are different." I didn't know then how much that difference would change everything. 30 minutes later, the ground trembled. 9 black SUVs roared up our driveway. Engines growled. Doors slammed open. Tall men in black suits stepped out, their movements sharp, calculated, dangerous. My family froze. My mother's face went pale. My father stumbled backward. My siblings hid behind curtains. And then the frail old woman straightened, her back tall, her eyes hard, her voice strong. "My ride is here." I stood frozen, stunned. She turned to me, her wrinkled hand warm in mine. "You showed me kindness when no one else did. Remember this moment." The men bowed their heads to her. One opened the door of the lead SUV. But before stepping inside, she looked directly at my family. Her words cut deeper than any blade. "You judge me as trash. But trash reveals character." Then she was gone, swallowed by the convoy of power and wealth. The silence she left behind? Suffocating. The next morning, our lives shattered. Bank accounts? Frozen. My father's business contracts? Collapsed overnight. My mother's social circle? Turned its back. Invitations stopped. Phones stopped. One by one. Every connection they clung to evaporated. It was as if an invisible hand had erased their status from the world. And soon we learned the truth. Her name was Eleanor Duval, a billionaire, one of the most powerful women in the country. Her fortune stretched across continents. Her influence ran through governments and corporations alike. And my family had mocked her, called her trash, humiliated her in our own home. But her revenge? It was surgical. She didn't destroy me. She lifted me. Job offers poured into my inbox. Scholarships I hadn't applied for appeared in my name. Doors opened everywhere I turned. People seemed to know me, respect me, see me. Meanwhile, my family descended into ruin, the house repossessed, cars towed, debt collectors at the door. Neighbors who once envied us now whispered behind curtains, delighting in our fall. My mother raged. "This is your fault," she screamed. I stood tall for once. "No, if you hadn't mocked her, maybe things would be different." Months later, I received an invitation, a black envelope embossed with gold. Inside, a single line, "Dinner with Eleanor." When I arrived, she greeted me, not as a frail old woman, but as the empress she truly was, dressed in elegance, power radiating from her every gesture. "You chose kindness when no one else did," she said. "That is worth more than wealth. Join me, and I will show you a world your family never dreamed of." Tears filled my eyes. For the first time, I felt seen, not as a burden, not as a disappointment, but as someone who mattered. Final scene. Close and reflection, powerful outro. Her revenge had destroyed the arrogant, but her reward had saved me. And as I sat across from her, I realized something. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is not destruction. It is revelation. She revealed who we truly were. My family's cruelty condemned them. My kindness saved me. I look back on that night often. The night 9 black SUVs pulled up to my house. The night my family mocked what they didn't understand. The night everything changed. And I carry Eleanor's word with me still. Trash reveals character. Because in the end, it wasn't her billions that defined her, or my family's mockery that defined me. It was the choice. To be cruel or to be kind. To scorn or to save. I made my choice. And it saved my life.